Guys, this is Impact Hall of Famer Gail Kim, and you are watching the Countdown City WrestleCast.
What's up, heels and baby faces? Welcome to another episode of the Countdown City WrestleCast. I'm your host, JC, joined by this guy here, Nacho, hanging in there. Let him rest. Over here, we got Big Mike.
What's up, guys? 2024. That's it.
And catching up on his lost sleep from Wrestle Kingdom, we got that guy.
Yeah, that Naito. Huh? What happened? Yeah, I'm good. Hi.
Hi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
WrestleCast.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You good?
Mm-hmm.
You caught up from that, all this sleep getting jacked up from watching
Yeah.
Wrestle Kingdom?
Yeah, I'm good. Let's do it.
Right.
Let's do it. Show. It's
I
time.
mean, I gave you an extra day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks everyone for joining us. I do appreciate you guys being a little patient a day later. Yeah, we have a lot of crazy stuff going on here. So, but thankfully, plus with quite frankly, with all the news in the sports world of things,
Yeah.
I had to push all my other podcasts back because yeah, that's all the fun stuff. But
What happened? No, I'm just kidding. Don't
Yeah.
start.
talking wrestling here, we
Yeah, we're
today are going to be recapping New Japan's Wrestle Kingdom 18. We're also going to preview TNA Hard to Kill. And before we get into that, was there any big wrestling news that came out this week? So
Is the music still playing for everybody else?
Yeah, it's still playing for me. Yeah.
my bad. That's my fault.
I
All right,
we're good.
wasn't sure. I don't know if it was news, but there was some fun stuff on social media the last couple of days with Tony Khan and Jinder Mahal and everyone throwing
All
in
I'm
their
gonna
two
say
cents into-
all I'm gonna say about that is thank God that Tony Khan did that for all the pages that don't have any traffic that wanted to make fun of him, because that's when they get the most traffic.
The best thing, well, there's two things I've read about it that I thought were hilarious. The first one is Tony Khan did more to get Jinder Mahal over than WWE ever did.
I mean, where's the lie?
The second part,
Even you talk about the promotion that gave him that he won a championship into, by the way. Just throwing that
yeah,
out.
the second thing, which is kind of a crap on the tribalism, is like all these people pretending like they unironically like Jinder. They were like, "You remember the way you reacted in his first title reign? Don't give me like you."
Thank you.
Yeah.
It was like me and 10 other people who were happy when Jinder won
Yeah.
that belt. Everyone else did. Thank you, Mike. I'm so glad somebody
But it
said
was
it.
true. But that being said, I still do feel like Tony needs to let some of these things go. But Eric Bischoff jumping in like a clown because he has to get his 2 cents in
Okay.
and remind people he's not like it became such a dumb thing because it was allowed to go on.
Okay, but
Yeah.
but Tony Khan was probably the most like over the top with this until Bischoff shot his mouth off.
Yeah, of course.
Because Bischoff still has no right to talk. It's only been 20 years since he sank WCW. So,
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
that
cool.
was not to get like totally off track, but that was another thing someone read. There was like, yo, people that keep saying AEW is like early 2000s WCW. If you weren't there, don't try it, because they're like,
No.
it was a dumpster fire. Like he's like, AEW has its missteps, but like they put on good matches and they are trying. WCW was like a lawless wasteland. Like it was insane.
I like
and
By that point, it was nothing but missteps. That's
yeah,
just
I like
completely
Burns'
it.
earlier
Yeah.
comment, by the way.
yeah,
about,
Bertie, you're probably one of the 10 he was talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was. Okay, but thank you. Because, okay, and here's what I'll say about WCW's last years. Every now and again, they would have some good matches. I'm not even going to pretend like they didn't. Because if you go back, there was some actually legit gems in there. The sad part was, it was shadowed by a lot of BS. However, at least with AEW, the worst thing people are pointing out is every now and again, the booking doesn't make sense and Tony Khan needs to stay off social media. Oh, wow. If, and then every now and then there's backstage drama. But then again,
Jason loves the cheese.
I mean, he's not wrong though. That's the only thing. It does make people who have nothing else to talk. Well, that and when the women's wrestlers complain about guys being creeps, and then guys prove it by being creeps.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's true.
I was for a second. I was like, "Wait, what?" Okay,
just don't give those kind of people ammo. That's my only thing,
Yeah,
so,
but all they did was say facts, and then the guys kind of proved them right. So I was like,
Yeah,
oh, look at you guys, look at you guys proving what they said is factual. Other wrestling news, NXT was kind of big this week with the breakout men's tournament winner beating Dragon League.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then a certain main character kind of appeared backstage.
So why didn't she tell us she was just leaving to go back to school? Like, I did not realize that she is apparently enrolled in Chase U.
Okay, Mike,
And
you know how it is.
She's getting her master's.
That's what I was gonna say.
Probably.
Sometimes people they're not sure how school's gonna work out, so they want to go back and see if they even want to do it before they tell everybody.
And I mean, like, just right there in the middle of like the girls group. I don't even know if that's a sorority or not, but they were all in there.
And it's one of those schools. It's a little old school. They don't have virtual classes and online classes. You gotta be in person.
You gotta be in person.
Well, no, actually, you know what? At Vista, we're going back to mostly everyone on campus. So now that's how a lot of schools are doing it. Everyone's getting back on campus.
So.
Yeah.
It is kind of
super
funny
spreader.
Because during COVID, they were like, virtual school is the future now. And like literally 2 years later, like, nope, just kidding. Everyone gets
because
people had online classes before. What's the difference, So
they thought virtual school was the future because everyone stopped showing up.
Yeah.
And then they were like, okay, well, that ain't working. So
we can't charge for parking fees and parking permits and all this other shit.
Don't get me started on that.
I would never hate on the main character. I apologize if that's what it sounded like. I was being joking, man. We love the main character. No, not a chance.
Yeah,
Bernsey out here firing shots tonight.
Yep.
But speaking of some people we were crapping on and connecting it with
Mission Pro,
the Mission Pro Awards that came out after their Tuesday night show.
I agreed mostly.
I see no problem with any of them. Made sense.
I saw one huge problem.
So, for those of you who weren't aware or haven't seen it yet, hopefully you're following them on social media.
Yeah.
The Mission Pro End of Year Awards. The Mission Pro Wrestler of the Year was Jasmine Allure. Emily,
can't hate on her, Tommy. She was interviewed on the show.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't. We interviewed her on the show. Just throwing it out
there.
So
what? What's that got to do with anything?
In all fairness, we also had Genocide on there, who did not win and was champion for the first 8 months of the year. We haven't had Tiffany. That's fair. But yeah, so on
Tiffany
top of
should have
that,
won it.
I mean, I actually wrote in the comments because I was obviously watching the show. My heart goes with Genocide, but my head says Tiffany, and then they threw that up there. For what it's worth,
it's over here.
Emily said that they did put votes out on social media like a poll, but that them as a group actually did come to a decision, and they felt like she was involved in a lot of big things.
So what? Sorry.
Think about it. She was there the entire year. She kicked off the year with one of the biggest potential storylines with the whole men's revolution thing.
She's also pure evil.
Yeah, but here's the
thing. Don't make it political. Okay. She's wrestler of the year.
It's not political. It's evil.
Here's the thing that actually made me laugh, and I didn't throw this into the chat, but they were like, they kind of said what you said. She's been there all year. She was a part of a bunch of big things. She upheld the Mission Pro mission. And I was like, she literally turned her back on Mission Pro and helped Men's Revolution. And there's literally a video out there where she's going to collect her money. Just saying, throwing that out there.
Oh, so when the APA does it, it's okay. But Jasmine.
Oh, okay. Well, then let's
wait a minute. Whoa. Are we doing this? Okay, cool. No. Let's do this. Okay, when the APA did it,
can we take this off the screen?
They were mercenaries. That was their whole shtick. And that was not a betrayal because they didn't betray WWE to be mercenaries. As a matter of fact, if you want to do this, when the invasion happened, the guys at the forefront for WWF were the APA. So try
Tommy,
again, brother. Let's do this. Come on,
Tommy. She attacked JC's daughter's favorite wrestler.
Yeah,
unprovoked from behind.
Yeah.
In all honesty, she wasn't my daughter's favorite wrestler at that point. But
what the fuck are you talking about,
bro? He was, however, a part of this moment of the year.
Right.
That's true.
Izzy's debut, moment of the
Yeah,
year.
and you couldn't have asked for a better opponent for Izzy to make her debut.
I didn't say she's not a good wrestler. I
Okay.
said Jasmine Allure is evil.
It doesn't matter, heel or face, you like her or not, evil or not. She's a great wrestler.
Yeah,
A
and
deserved
she
wrestler of the year.
Tiffany Neves should have won.
There's a lot of people that,
Mm-hmm.
again, Tiffany was undefeated. She was there the whole year too. Undefeated, won a title. Genocide was champ for the first 8 months of the year, and beat Jasmine in a title
I
match.
remember
Yes.
that. That was like
One-on-one.
the greatest moment of my life.
So is this based on like fan votes? Is that how they do it?
No,
Like a poll?
that's what they said. That was part of it, but they made the decision as like the Mission Pro people who run it.
Mhm.
It was eventually it came down to them making the decision.
Basically,
Okay.
they were wrong this year. That's what I'm hearing. That's
Yeah.
all I'm hearing.
Did you do anything to piss off Emily or Jeremiah or Brian recently, just out of curiosity, or
Probably, but I
did
don't
you forget to
know.
pay? Or
Okay, I have always paid for Mission Pro shows. Okay,
uh,
that I'm aware of. Until PayPal tells me otherwise, I have paid for every show.
a few more things on the awards, though. All joking aside.
Yeah.
So yeah, Izzy's debut won Moment of the Year. Match of the year, no doubt, was the JP Harlow versus Black Swan casket match.
Yeah.
Which, yes, like without a doubt.
Yeah, for sure.
The show of the year was Boiling Point. Oh yeah, you can see right there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And newcomer of the year, who, by the way, we can announce we interviewed her this past week, and we will be dropping that hopefully this weekend. Maya World, and that was a tough competition because it was her.
That's a tough one.
It was Black Swan. It was Izzy, and then they threw, at least in the fan poll, they threw in Joey Hyder, which people were like, Hyder's been there a little while, not as prominent, but I guess he did have a few bigger things this past year. But Maya World, very deserving, and we learned a lot in talking with her.
Yeah, we did.
So check that out. Stay warm this weekend. Check your socials. Check our socials, because that hopefully should be dropping by Sunday. But yeah, so that was a really cool. So really deserving people for most of the awards. So. But I knew Tommy would. Yeah.
So.
JP Harlow and Black Swan. Which, again, if you go back and check our socials, there's the great video I caught of Black Swan closing the casket on JP Harlow as you hear Tommy in the background. Take that, you son of a.
There are some moments in my life that'll just live on forever, and that's going to be one of them.
Especially in wrestling shows, because we can hear you in all of them.
Mm-hmm.
My funeral is going to be weird, isn't it?
It's going to be weird.
Well, let's get to this. Speaking of that, when we get to the BOW,
he's not dead. Yeah.
When we get to the BOW show, there was a clip that they shared that one of the wrestlers mentioned, where it's Tommy's voice that you hear.
You know what? Let's just talk about it, because I know we're talking Wrestle Kingdom, but
okay, so,
Tommy, you're at BOW. Mike, did you go to BOW as well?
Yeah, I was there too.
Okay, yeah. I'll let
Jason
you guys
was there
take the
too.
lead. Yeah, because we've had so much going on around the house, and there's a tournament. We were a 2-day tournament. Which
Burnsy,
kick,
that
by
was
the
a
way.
great show to go to first.
Yeah, for sure.
It was an amazing show. Yeah.
But how was BOW? First show of the year, and if I'm not mistaken, this is Terry's last BOW event as well.
It was,
so,
He's got one more event, which is hybrid next Friday. But
next Friday, yeah.
This is his last BOW event. Yeah.
Okay.
It was a good show.
It was a great show.
The camera. Do you want to get started on it, or?
Yeah. Well, just so you guys know, I talked to the owner Clint before the show, and he said to me, "Yeah, I think I overdid it this show." But it
was a good show.
Yeah, but for overdoing it, it was a great show. I really can't think of one match that wasn't just fun to watch, because
they started with a was it just a 10-person? I think it wound up being a 10-person all your shot battle royale.
Yeah, I think it was just 10 people. Yeah.
Okay. Which was kind of funny because Vic Endurance pulled the wait outside the ring till everyone else is eliminated. Not early on, but like at some point he kind of got out of the ring and went to sit in like the second row of the entrance, like where they come out from.
And to be honest, I didn't even realize it. I thought he had been eliminated at some point. I legitimately missed it.
Well, we noticed, and Jason or me, because Jason noticed it, and he was like, no, he's sitting over there. He was like behind Milo in the second row, and we're like, oh, and who was the person who thought DeMarcus? Was it Rashad?
Dill Dempsey thought he won.
Oh, Del Dempsey. Okay,
yeah. But then, of course, here came friggin' Vic. But it was impressive though. I can't even lie. He snuck in just when I thought the match was over too. And I was about to go. I was like, all right, gotta go check my cam. No, I'm not. I'm not. I'm still here.
And the show was packed too. Like it was a pretty good crowd.
Yeah, it was a super. That's like probably the most people we've had like ever. Like since Clint took it over. Just good match. Oh damn it! What was next?
A little shocked at the tag team.
Yeah, that's right.
The titles. That was a good match. And
Fly Death lost the Culture Shock.
Okay, yeah. I know there's another team that's a little bit more well known called Subculture, right? And I always get those. Like I want to say the other one for each other. Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Subculture is the one with they're in TNA.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Culture Shock is the local.
But they dethroned Fly Death, and so after they lose, and then like Fly Death is like kind of getting cheers from the crowd. Terry was like, and we believe that Fly Death, just had the longest reign as BOW tag team champions, and Jason kind of goes, "Man, you say that now after they lost?" He's like, "What? Why didn't you say that while they were doing it?" I was like, "Well, things happen."
Yeah, true. Yeah. But I think he's right, though. I think they were the longest reigning champs, unless I think the only people
might
have beat them.
That's what Terry said. He said it out loud. So
the only ones who I think held them longer was maybe the Horde, but I cannot remember anymore. So that's been so long. But yeah, JL defended the women's championship against Reza Clark, who, by the way, had the funniest moment ever, because when she was walking out, she took one look at Brandon and immediately turned around and walked the other way.
She legitimately did. Beat Ninja was sitting behind us. And he's like, "Hey," because like I guess y'all know they know each other.
So the story behind that is we were at an indie show somewhere in middle of the state, Texas. I can't remember the name of the town anymore. This is so far back, and we joked with her all night that she wasn't smiling, like she can't stand us. So our joke is constantly that we never see her smile. So whenever she sees us at a show, she's like, she frowns harder, like already frowning. So when she saw Brandon, it was just like, damn it, I can't go anywhere in this state.
Yeah, she legit like was coming around the ring, saw him, was like, turned around.
Yeah, she like I could hear the nope, and I was behind her. And I could hear the nope, and just.
Another women's. So there was supposed to be a women's tag team match also, which was Denise Day.
Ash couldn't make it.
Right. So it turned into a three-way. And so friend of the WrestleCast, Denise Day, picked up the win in that one. And that was kind of funny too. So when she came out, I think the other two were already out, or maybe she was the first one. But she went and like stood. So like we were on this side opposite the entrance. And she goes and stands to like the corner and, poses to the crowd on that side. And then she goes to that corner and poses on the crowd, but she didn't come to our side. So I was like, Denise, come do it over here so we get a picture of you. And so Terry heard me and told her, and she thought Terry was telling her, like, you're supposed to be in that corner for, like, the match. So she goes, oh, and, like, goes to that corner and then waves. I was like, oh, I wasn't trying to get you in trouble. I wanted you to pose on the corner.
I didn't even notice that part. Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, I told her that after, but she pulled. She took the win in that one too.
Yeah. Shade and Hilda were her opponents.
Yeah.
Very, very talented women. I actually didn't know them.
I was gonna say same thing. Not as familiar with them, but
I got to look them up because they were really cool too after the show. So I got.
Yeah, it makes me think the tag team match would have actually been pretty good too. So.
Yeah. Well. Etiquette Ash. She for someone who just graduated high school. Already got her legs really firmly in the business into the World Party, and so that would have been a great tag match.
That's what I mean. Yeah. No, I have no doubts about her either. So I think that would have been great.
The trios tag match was fun. RWA Outlaws against Don Rodrigo and his group. I can't remember the
Those
name
guys
right
out of Austin. Apparently, they're big like up Inspire Pro and
now.
some of those.
And I'd seen Don Rodrigo before, but I didn't
Yeah.
really got to like watch him, and I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm an instant fan. This dude's so good.
He was. Haas Holding versus
James Claxton.
James Claxton.
Haas Holding's birthday was that day. That fool is 62 years old.
And he won with an iron claw.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But for the record,
What's
he's
that?
62 years
Yeah,
old.
no kidding. I mean,
Never too late to start, right?
Obviously, he wasn't
So-
doing anything over the top, but like he was still going for
Well, I can't
for sure.
stand him and Sting. Jason just said it was a Haas fight. It really was. He went, and see, that's the thing with Holding. He doesn't need to do anything over the top. He's 62.
Yeah. And then he tweeted this afterwards and told us about it. But Chase Owens, BOW champion in the main event, legitimately got into San Antonio from Japan, flying back from Wrestle Kingdom stuff at 7:30.
Yeah.
Didn't get out of the airport and out there till like 45 minutes before the main event.
Wow.
Went to the main event, put on a hell of a match. We were talking about this too, Tommy, and you see it in his stuff at Hybrid too. He is so underrated as a heel because his work with the crowd as a heel is so fun that like it's so easy to hate him.
Yeah.
And like he was getting people pissed off so bad at him. It was great. But yeah, like just showed up 45 minutes before his match, barely like coming back from Japan.
Yeah.
And put on a hell of a match.
So I'll say this: I think how the match started had two purposes because I don't know if you remember how the match started. It started like kind of slow, like Chase wouldn't do much. And I honestly think that was him just being legitimately tired, like he just like,
no
he's
kidding.
exhausted. But at the same time, though, when he turned it on, like when he like was like in it, like but I'm sure he was like he was stalling to give himself more time to breathe and relax and like get ready. But at the same time, that was annoying the hell out of the crowd.
Yeah.
and he's a heel. What else is he supposed to do except annoy the hell out of the crowd?
And I was thinking how crazy this must have been. And I don't mean this as an insult to BOW in any way, because obviously it's not New Japan, but like to be a New Japan in the Tokyo Dome, in front of that massive crowd, and then like flying across the world to get back here to be at like Woodlawn Gym. And again, I don't mean as an insult, just like to be in that big stage and then come back to your little home crowd. Like
that's wrestling
crazy.
for you.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. It's
just
crazy.
And more to your point, with Chase, like because he wasn't.
It depends on the Greek god, Jason. Maybe like Dionysus or one of the gods of.
I mean, honestly,
Hephaestus.
And honestly, if you watch some like Justice League media that ever deals with Wonder Woman, they have a whole bunch of how the Greek gods look. So or just play a God of War game. Where you're murdering them all.
I don't even mean that to be mean to Jason.
Except Aphrodite. Whew.
Oof, yeah, no, hey, my dude.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've heard Ares looks like he could be a wrestler, so I don't know.
I mean, now he's got a certain edge to him.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, on this day, I see clearly that he could be one.
He could probably cope in the ring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Depends on how he lands. Anyway, no, what I was gonna say was, well, for Chase, I said this to him. People are not going to appreciate him until he stops wrestling, and that's going to be sad because he's so good now. And hell, all the hybrid students can tell you how good he is because I'm sure they're all getting their.
Well, the last few months at hybrid shows, he's kind of gone on a little like putting over some of the young, or not putting them over, but like having good matches with them to let them show what they can do.
I also don't. Unless we forget, just so everyone does know how dedicated of a journeyman to wrestling Chase is. Not only was he at Wrestle Kingdom, he was at New Year's Dash. Yeah. He was at New Year's Dash the next day, and he challenged Girls of Destiny, Hikaleo, and El Phantasmo for the tag belts. Him and Kent are going to challenge them. Yeah. So for everyone to understand what that means after he made that challenge, either after the show ended or immediately after he said that, he was in a car, going to the airport, getting on a plane, and flying back in time to get here because New Year's Dash is January the 5th. That's January the 6th when he had to be at BOW. So he had to like immediately cut that promo and get on a plane.
And then he had to travel, and then he technically traveled back in time coming this way because he crossed the international date line. Yeah.
So he probably definitely went at least 88 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So give this man his props now is what I'm saying. And
okay,
I was going to say about Lindsay Snow and Jordan Grace.
Well, okay, that's what I'm saying. Then to finish this off, let's talk about the clip and the match related to that clip that started this whole talk of back to get us to BOW. Go get started on Jordan and Lindsay Snow, and then we'll get to that.
Okay. Well, first of all, if anyone who doesn't know, and if you know me, I'm kind of surprised if you don't know this, I'm a diehard Lindsay Snow fan. I'm a huge fan of women who do deathmatch wrestling, and she's one of them. And I had been one place in particular where I didn't get to meet her because timing and everything, but I just love watching her wrestle. Jordan Grace, how much more stuff can we say about her that hasn't been said over the past few years, especially?
Let's just say in person, her physique is legit, man. Like it's like
in person, her physique is depressing for those of us who don't work out at all. And when I don't, and that's not an insult to her, that's an insult to me and my love for Whataburger. But
But in all fairness, if I met a Greek god, I wouldn't try to be like, I'd be like, yeah, you're a Greek god.
In all fairness, if Jordan Grace isn't what Greek gods look like, then Greek gods need to step up their lifting game. That's all I'm saying. So, but to your point again, like in real life, by the way, they are both super cool.
Yeah.
They're like, their merch lines were as long as they should have been. And a lot of Jordan Grace's family, from what I understand, was at the show.
That's what I found out afterwards. Apparently.
Yeah, I did too. And by the way, this is to say nothing of the match where they just killed it. I mean, come on, it's two world-class athletes going at it. It probably would have been the main event if Chase couldn't have made it.
Right. But so what happens at one point is they're outside the ring and Jordan Grace sits Lindsay Snow in an empty chair there in the front row, and then chops her chest really hard. You can kind of hear it. And then Tommy, who is the cameraman, by the way, like a second delay later, and then does his Keith Lee, oh my God. Lindsay Snow, like the next day or that night, retweets this clip and was like, what is this Hank Hill sounding in the background? And I was like, Hank Hill, that's hilarious. But
God damn it, Bobby.
That's what I said. I was like, I gotta watch more King of the Hill again. Because I was like, I gotta.
But we were all like, it was Tommy. It was your cameraman.
Yeah. By the way, I bought a lot of her merch. I'm
sure. Yeah. Fun night overall. Long story long. It was a fun night overall.
It really was a topper of a BOW show. Like I think it might be one of my shows of the year, and we'll see how the rest of the year goes, because that one was just like legitimately top to bottom, just a solid fun show.
It really was.
It just like and for time reasons we couldn't stop, but just a birdsie.
Shut up, Dale. Yeah. So.
But also, if anyone wants to go watch it back, it is on our video on demand site now. So if you want to check it out, it's pretty great.
And anytime the video is choppy, it's probably top. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. Upcoming events we have locally here: Hybrid Experience Friday, January 19th, followed by RCW's Rumble Royale.
Double shot weekend next weekend.
Yep. Mr. Pro's next event is February 10th. River City Wrestling will be back February 25th. BOW's next event is March 9th. And then RCW also announced that they're going to have a show April 20th.
Yeah, I already have tickets for RC Mania because they're on sale now, and it is at the the church gym, right?
Yeah.
Shepherd.
Nice.
So I'm going to get those because Mania is, they do try to make that their huge show.
Yeah. So, I thought that was going to say something. Oh, that same weekend is RCW and Hybrid. The next weekend. That's also Retromania. Just so everyone knows. Sergeant Slaughter.
Well, you're breaking up, at least to me, buddy.
We'll be there. Sorry.
Uh-oh. All right.
Okay, hold on, Tom, because you're breaking up. So, Jessica. Yeah.
Okay. There you go. You're good. You're just a little grainy. That's fine. I'll clear up.
Try it again.
Okay. Am I good?
Yeah.
Okay. So, the weekend of Hybrid and RCW is Retromania, and I'll be hosting a panel with Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, and the geeks will be out there. Most of the geeks will be out there. They'll be doing a few things. Legacy of Nerd, Daniel's going to be doing some panels himself too. So if you have time, it's up in New Braunfels.
I think it's Power Rangers and Legend of the White Dragon, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, they'll be up there, and yeah, Tommy will be talking with Sergeant Slaughter. Hopefully, he won't be made to drop and give Sarge 20. Tommy's like 2. Best I can do.
Wait, no. I may be able to get to 10 easy.
Okay.
Past that,
Not a chance.
bruh.
Yeah.
Bruh, let me tell you something. Well, I will say this: working at HEB has made me realize I have strength in my arms I didn't know I did.
That's fair.
Burnsy.
You got to read that in his voice, though. My name is Hank Hill, and I sell propane and propane accessories.
I mean, if we're gonna do it, someone's got to do that boy ain't right.
That boy ain't right.
Or you could do the Bobby Hill. I don't know you. That's my purse.
Yeah.
You know, that's my purse. I don't know you.
That's my purse.
Well,
I don't know you.
Let's just talk about the best character on that show. Boy, I tell you what we're going to talk about him, New Japan Wrestle Kingdom 18. Let's go. It was like click, late night show, three-time Tommy lost all streak. Yep. All right.
I ain't watching.
Thank you, Boomhauer. New Japan Pro Wrestling's Wrestle Kingdom 18.
How was that a transition?
Yeah, thank you.
The best transition.
Thank you.
Oh God.
I need to get a clip of that. Anyway, the reason why Tommy was still catching up on his sleep at the beginning of this show, Wrestle Kingdom 18, yes. And the funny part is I look forward to this every year. I don't have to really watch the event because I know our group chat is gonna be blowing up with shit. Tommy's like, oh my God, because I'll be asleep and I'll catch up on all the messages the following morning.
I had to
that's
hold
the best
back
part.
I had to hold back so much. I held back because
Hey, I don't mind it. Let it fly. I can watch the whole show just by your reactions. It's fucking great.
No,
So, but still, if I do go back to watch it, I can kind of scroll and say, okay, here's where Tommy reacted here. Here's where Tommy reacted there. And I just kind of go by that. So, but Wrestle Kingdom returned to a one-night event. Tommy, overall, give us your feel of it. I haven't gotten to see it, Mike. I don't think you have either. No. Okay. Give me your top 3 matches of the night.
Top 3 matches. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Danielson and Okada's got to be up there. It really, like they lived up to the hype. They legitimately did. The main event did for emotional reasons. I think Naito and Sonata. Oh yeah, Burnsy was up watching it. That's
nice.
right. Because
Burnsy, go ahead, type in. What are your top 3 matches of the night?
So,
go ahead, Tommy.
Is Burnsy was he a New Japan guy before? Or did you get him into that?
No, he was actually Actually, you know what? Hold on. Burnsy, remind me.
Burnsy have to confirm.
Yeah, I was like, Tommy's like, wait, I do influence a lot of people.
Yeah, because Burnsy remind me. Did I get you watching it, or were you watching it before me? Because I know we've talked about it a lot, but I can't remember if he started watching it because I hyped it up so much, or because he was like saying, "Oh, I'm a fan too." So
I guess sound like you.
Yeah, that I do that kind of thing a lot. And also I gotta be honest, because he surprised me. The triple threat for the inaugural IWGP Global Championship with Moxley and Ospreay was really good, and Finlay did surprise me. He held his own with those two, but Ospreay and Moxley had the better entrances because.
I saw that.
Confirmed.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. I couldn't remember. Right.
So your top 3 matches were the final 3 of the night, basically.
Yeah.
Global Championship. Yeah.
But that being said, though, the opening match for the tag belts, the junior heavyweight tag belts, that was in my top 3 for a good while. But I'll tell you when it switched up. Desperado and Takahashi were also my top 3, and then the last 3 matches happened, and that's when they took the spot. But for a while, dude, the junior heavyweight tag titles, both junior heavyweight tag titles, were my top 3 of the matches of the night because they were killing it. Now, what would have stayed in my top 3 if I had not been for the last 2 matches were the winner take all tag belts of Bushimon versus the Grills of Destiny, because Hikuleo and Phantasmo really were at the level that Goto and Yoshihashi were pushing them to. Like, if you were thinking like, they can't meet them at that level, those two pushed them and made them get there. And that's why that match was so good. But yeah, those are my top 3.
What were your feelings on Tanahashi winning the TV title and being president and champion?
I thought 2 things. One, I said, this fool did not just give himself a belt.
Every booker's dream, right?
But to be fair enough. But to be fair, I also think they did that to get Zack Sabre Jr. away from that belt.
That's fair.
Because honestly, he's one of the guys right next to Ospreay. Yeah, Jason's not wrong, but he's one of the guys right next to Ospreay who especially during the pandemic era, Zach stayed, man. Zach was there all the time, and I think now they're probably going to start moving him, especially with the global championship thing now. I think he's going after that or the heavyweight title because because he's beaten all these guys before in matches that weren't belts on the line. He's beaten Tanahashi, he's beaten Naito, he's beaten Sonata before. I think he's going to be one of the guys who wins a major title now, and I think they had him as TV champion to really establish that belt up. But I think Saber's going on to bigger and better things now, man. Because I think New Japan's really high on him. And
I'd be okay with that if that happens.
Yeah, I think that's what's happening.
With Danielson Okada, do you think? I know we talked about this before, but now it's like technically 7 months away. Do you wait to finish the trilogy at All In back in England next year?
Yeah, you wait.
Yeah.
You wait. Yes. Because one, their match ended with them both bowing to each other in respect.
Right, I saw that, yeah.
But I do think that and I think because of that, because there's no, I got to get you back now, I think that you push that as far back as you can to make the fans really want it.
Yeah.
And also because Danielson has a match with Zack Sabre Jr. coming up and, 6 to midnight immediately,
So I don't want to jinx it, but we got to knock on wood. Pray to whatever you believe in. Please both be healthy in August.
Yeah.
Available for that show.
Yeah.
Because yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll see how the schedule works out too. What their wrestling schedule. I know Danielson's not. Is
he's starting to slow down. He said pretty much.
Yeah. And we don't know Okada. I'm sorry.
Everything good?
Sorry. Yeah. I'll respond in a second. It says I got a text, but anyway, Okada obviously would work with TNA, so that's going to be an interesting one as well. So, and that's how much is he going to work? What's his schedule going to be like? Is he bouncing work between TNA and New Japan? So,
I feel like New Japan's going back to what they were doing before the pandemic, and they're being kind of like a bridge of pro wrestling. Like they're just kind of going everywhere in America, because Rocky Romero, I think, is a huge reason behind that, because he's just like, hey, let's wrestle everywhere.
Yeah. So, and also, with all due respect to TNA, I think those in charge would say the same thing. Even if you're working with them and you have a schedule, you don't want to be the group that stopped Okada Danielson 3.
No.
At a show like All In. So.
No.
My favorite matches were
Tanahashi and ZSJ, David versus Will.
Oh, he threw in that match.
Yeah. No. Tanahashi and again, with that 15-minute time limit, they don't have a lot of time, but those two really put a lot in a.
Well, again, I'm not an expert like you are, but from what I've heard, it's probably better for Tanahashi to not.
Yeah,
for matches sure. At this point, right?
Yeah,
so.
He it reminds me of the question someone I think someone in the chat asked us last week, who was my Mr. Wrestle Kingdom, and I said Tanahashi.
Yeah.
I mean, because for 10 years straight, that guy was like putting in a John Cena like schedule almost. He was wrestling the 15, 20, 30-minute matches every single major show. And and of course, his finisher, the high fly flow, that's not exactly a low impact maneuver where it's easy on his body. No, the dude said, here's my idea. I'm gonna take all 200 pounds of myself and hurl it into the air and land it as hard as I can. What's the worst that could happen? Damage ribs for the rest of your life? What's the worst that could happen?
I mean, the only thing worse you could have done was probably a top rope leg drop. So.
I mean,
Wrestle Kingdom, Tanahashi, Zack Sabre Jr., Finley, the global championship that you said, and of course Okada Danielson. So
yeah, it's pretty. Sounds pretty similar.
When they thought because Danielson put Okada in pretty much the same finisher, same submission hold that made him tap out. So everyone was thought, is the match going to end like that? You could hear the panic in all the announcers, and
the first one was at Forbidden Door, right?
Forbidden Door, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Speaking of about the triple threat match, when the Bullet Club kind of jumped in, I don't know if you guys saw when Ospreay put 2 of the guys through a tables.
No.
One of my friends. He put in but one of the tables didn't break all the way, so I think it was. I can't remember what it was.
Japan, isn't that normal?
Yeah, but he was just like sunk inside of it like this, like the rest of his body, like his legs and arms like stuck out like this. My friend said, "What is up with the New Japan tables?" I was like, "Dude, those things break if they feel like it."
Yes.
Those tables will say, "F you, I'll break if I want to." I don't
Botchamania's gotten half its popularity off of Japanese tables. So.
Dude, for real, those things are just so they're at this point they're the biggest enemy of New Japan wrestlers at this point.
Yeah.
Someone says table spot. Damn it!
Oh,
It's like, all right, I'll get the Epsom salt that I'll need after this match.
Epsom salt.
All right. Well, how did our pick results come through? Well, I went 4-7, and Mike and Tommy both went 7-4.
Hey.
Honestly, I'm surprised. I forgot I did that well. I really thought I completely. Oh, one last thing I want to shout out is TJP's transformation.
Oh yeah, that
was really cool, and I always respect that whenever because that's like going back to Great Muta doing that kind of thing when Liger does it.
What is it called? Or
what was the name of it? It's
like a demon.
It's a Filipino demon. I meant to actually ask my wife if she knew anything about it.
But it was because it was a pretty cool mask.
It was a cool mask.
A little thing they did a little intro with it to introduce it.
Yeah, it really did remind me of like when Finn Balor, when he was Prince Devitt, first did the demon
body
gimmick.
paint.
Yeah, with the body paint and but he wasn't calling
it
it
New Japan.
Aswang. That's
Aswang.
The Aswang. When he first did New Japan, it wasn't called the demon. It was just like him like entering another transformation.
Yeah.
It's an umbrella term for shape-shifting evil creatures in Filipino folklore. So, yeah. So basically, TJP. But yeah, great show all around, man. I highly recommend it to any fan of wrestling to watch it. If you're a New Japan fan, I made this joke before, and it'll never not be funny. Naito finished the story before Cody did. Oh.
I mean, we can make a lot of lists of people that finished the story before Cody.
Yeah, I know. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Two things about the crowd. So you guys know Will Ospreay's song was written specifically for him, right?
Oh yeah, no, I didn't know
that. Well, at the end of it, there's a part that says Ospreay. So he got in the ring, and when that part came up, he pointed to the crowd, and 30,000 people screaming at top of their lungs, Ospreay. I was like, this dude is over as F, bro. So, and then when Naito did the LIJ roll call at the end, it echoed so loud in that arena. I was like legitimately emotional for Naito that he finally got that moment. And then I thought, damn it, he's retiring next year, isn't he?
But he got his moment like that.
So. Yeah, he got his moment though. So, I'm not even mad. It was just an amazing show, start to finish.
All right. Now, speaking of people that finished the story before Cody, you can also add Bill Belichick, potentially Nick Saban. Throwing it out there. Some of the
okay. First of all, Bill Belichick finished the story like 8 times long before anyone else.
That's true.
Yeah,
he finished the story before the story was a thing. So.
Yeah. All right, on to our WrestleCast ratings. And Bernsey, you watch this show, so go ahead and give us your ratings 0 to 5. 5 in WrestleMania 17, 0 being December to Dismember. Tommy, you got to watch it the whole way through, lost sleep over it. So what is your rating for Wrestle Kingdom 18?
I tried.
Just do it. You know you're going to.
But look, I swear to you, I was trying not to. I was really trying not to, but I got to give it the 5 again. I got to.
Okay.
The reason why I gave it the 5.
For the 5th year in a row, by the way.
But I got a reason behind it.
Please tell us, Tommy Meltzer, why?
I was trying, and I knew you guys were going to make that joke. I was trying not to do this again. But the ending is what sold it for me. Because it looked like Naito wasn't going to get to do it because fucking Evil jumped Naito at the end. But then Sonata made the save. The same guy who just lost the belt to Naito made the save and beat up him and Dick Togo. And then when he finally got to do the roll call, it was so.
Togo's still coming around? Damn.
Yeah, he's the manager for House of Torture.
Damn.
So, thank you.
All right, Bernsey backs him up, so I guess so.
But I had to give it the 5 because when Naito got to do the roll call and the whole night of wrestling, everything, it was the great ending to the story. It was great. It really was. So I'm
going to go back and watch it and just find like one little thing. Like, actually, it's a 4.8 8, 9 because of this little thing that I noticed.
Mike's like, I'm giving a 4.97. Damn it! That
0.03.
pinfall should have been a 3.
When he waved to the crowd, he didn't go full extension on the wave. I mean, you can't do that.
Also, if you guys can, it's on Twitter. I think it's on YouTube as well. Track down Ospreay's whole entrance.
Oh yeah.
Apparently, he did have a deal with Activision and Assassin's Creed.
I heard that. Yeah.
And got their blessing to do what he did, and it was amazing. Also, if you can see, this is a personal thing. John Moxley's entrance because he came in dressed as Red Hood, from Batman, and I nerded the absolute fuck out when he did that.
I actually saw people online going, Moxley's into that stuff.
I was actually shocked by that too. But I was so that he was Red Hood. I didn't care anymore.
People may not realize that about Mox. Just throwing it out there. So.
Or did like his wife tell him, or Yuta was like, Mox in the BBC book discussion.
Yeah, he showed him a picture of Red Hood, and Moxley was like, "Okay, that's not bad. I'll do that."
and he kills people. I'm in.
It's like, oh, he uses a gun. No, I like this guy.
Well, let's move then from Wrestle Kingdom. By the way, WrestleCast rating 5 because just Tommy.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Also, okay. So I was gonna make this joke right at the beginning of the show, but you're gonna have to go meet Gail Kim again, so she no longer says Impact Hall of Famer and Legend. She has to go back to TNA Legend.
Yes, I will. And I'm not going to use AI to alter that, but
no, you gotta
hope that
like the 7th time.
Hope our paths cross again, so I can get that re-recorded, obviously for sure. So
got it.
Yeah. So
Jason made a good point. That's true.
Yeah, very much.
Yeah.
So cannot wait till somebody dresses up like the villager from Animal Crossing. That'd be fucking great. So.
Look,
imagine that shit. Growing a tree right there on
wrestling
stage.
into all that stuff that
I was gonna say at this point it would not shock me. I mean,
no.
New Japan has a legitimate deal with Hello Kitty. Come on.
I mean, but you're talking about New Japan, like it could be Athena for all the stuff she's into.
That's true.
I mean,
I'm waiting for Athena to just do a full-on Sailor Moon gimmick. Stop waiting, you coward. Sorry.
Well, let's move on to TNA. Yes, TNA Hard to Kill. No longer Impact Wrestling. Back to TNA. Excuse me. Pretty awesome to see as well. This event, it's kind of nice to be taking place on Saturday. Now, I want to point out this. There's been a little confusion about what the TNA Plus tiers are. So I wanted to share that with everyone just to kind of put it in layman's terms of what these are. So there's a few options here on TNA Plus. If you're not already signed up for it, your basic $9.99 a month is your special attraction rate, which is a monthly payment. You get the full content library, you get some digital first content, and you get exclusive live specials like No Surrender, the just like the live show only kind of thing.
Yeah.
You can also pay for that annually, save you a little bit of money. That's only $96 a year if you do that. So it saves you about what, $25, right? So $25. Yeah. Now, the other option is the World Champion rate, which is only as annual option. It's $220 a year, but you get everything that was already mentioned, plus you get all the live pay-per-view events. Hard to Kill, Bound for Glory, Slammiversary. What else am I missing? Lockdown, or whatever else the pay-per-views they're going to have. So
not Bound for Glory.
Anyway. So basically what you're in essence doing, yes, it is a big jump in pay, but you're basically paying for the pay-per-views in advance when you think about it.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's maybe comes a little bit cheaper. And then of course other licenses, they'll have these options here on the TNA Plus website. You could just pay the $40 just to watch Hard to Kill, and this will cycle through as every pay-per-view comes available. So wanted to clear that up. It's not your usual like WWE Network or anything like that. There is some options there. Pay-per-views are not included, but if you fork over a little bit of extra money, you can watch this as well. Although, I'm not sure what the wait time is on that. Maybe like 30 days later or something. Those pay-per-views will likely become part of the full content library if you just use the regular subscription as well. So now that we've said that, how excited are you guys to see? Yeah, I was going to say that, Jason. Yes. The TNA belts are back. The logo's back.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like a throwback seeing this stuff all over again. But guys, what do you think of how the rebrand, if you will, has gone?
Yeah,
I am like all for it because they made the one thing that really sold it for me is how big a deal they made about it, including with the title belt redesigns. Like each one, like they didn't just do it all at once. They gave each title its own video, talking with the champions, showing the new belts. Tommy Dreamer's hilarious. So yeah, no, I got no problem with how they've been doing it. I think it's been killer.
Yeah, and I think spreading it out like that really has kind of kept it like it wasn't all at once, like on a Tuesday, and then they kind of forget it by Friday. Like they've kind of kept themselves in the conversation each day in the wrestling landscape. So I like that.
Yep. It's been pretty cool, and I'm looking forward to this pay-per-view event for sure. I think it's going to be a great way, and they really got to bring it with this one with the rebranded stuff. You really kicking off the year, and Hard to Kill hasn't been a bad show in previous years. So
yeah.
On the pre-show itself, we got Rich Swann versus Steve Macklin. Then we're going to get Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers versus Eric Young and Frankie Kazarian. That's the pre-show, guys. And then we get the Digital Media Championship, a no DQ Tommy Dreamer defending against Crazy Steve.
I love Tommy Dreamer, but I kind of love Crazy Steve more. So
you're picking Crazy Steve, Tommy?
I kind of have to, yeah.
All right. What about you, Mike?
Yeah, same. I mean, I like Tommy Dreamer, but he's not really someone who needs a title at this point. So I agree.
Part of me is like crazy on this one because every time you think Tommy Dreamer would lose, he still wins. But yeah, I think Crazy Steve is the one to kind of take this one. You imagine his antics as a digital media championship. So
I mean, yeah, that promo is still
yeah.
That promo was haunting. Like
Jason also saying Crazy Steve. Now on the main card, and I'm pretty sure this match is going to start off Knockouts Ultimate X.
Damn it.
For the number one contender for the Knockouts World Championship. Giselle Shaw, Zaya Brookside, Jody Threat, Tasha Steeles, Alicia Edwards, and Danny Luna are all going to be trying to get the X hanging above the ring.
You know what's annoying about this one? There's not a bad pick here.
No. Mike,
that's the worst part.
You have a 6-sided dice there because I feel like you almost need it for this match. So.
I don't.
Yeah,
I don't have my dice either. They're still packed up. I still don't have it.
Well, I could pull up a random number generator. No,
I'm just kidding. Yeah. So
on a quick side note, because we actually didn't mention this in local shows, is it Zaya Brookside that's also coming to San Antonio in February? Am I thinking of the wrong person?
No, you're right.
I remember seeing her name pop up. Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, against Caliente, right?
That's just Caliente. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you're right.
I was just doing that to actually waste some time and try to think of.
Okay.
You know what? Jody Threat, because I have no reason to. I have no idea.
Okay.
But it sounds like Jody Threat. That sounds like a good wrestling name.
Oh no, she's good. I've seen her live before.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Tommy approved.
Yeah.
Let's see. Jason says Shaw there on his.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Zaya Brookside. I was like eeny meeny miny mo at this point. It's hard.
And I was gonna go Tasha Steeles. Like.
Okay.
And there's still 3 other people that could legitimately.
I know.
Yeah, I love how we all pick someone else and we can still all be wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
Including Jason, we can all be wrong.
The fun part of TNA, right? So
yeah.
I mean,
Burnsy picked someone we haven't picked.
Anybody else watching? Jump.
Let's cover all our bases, so at least someone gets it.
Another singles match.
A 7th person runs in. They didn't announce it to us anyway.
Now something out of the ordinary. Something out of the ordinary for TNA. A singles match. Josh Alexander versus Alex Hammerstone.
So this is kind of cool, right?
Yeah, this has been an interesting
sleeper hit of a good match, man. I'm not even kidding.
Hammerstone making his debut, and I'm assuming he's officially signed, or is this just like an appearance?
I don't know, because I know he's not in MLW anymore.
Right.
So I don't.
They're making it sound because I know like Josh Alexander put the welcome, but I don't know if this is like a one-time thing or if he's been signed. But either way, I've heard nothing. I haven't seen a lot of him, but I heard nothing of good things about Alex Hammerstone.
Yeah.
And even if you weren't good, Josh Alexander's going to make you look good.
Oh yeah.
So if you got 2 good wrestlers, this is going to be a hell of a fight. I almost want to say if he's not officially signed, I'm going to go with Josh. Okay, so I feel like I'm going to go with Josh because he's not officially signed.
Yeah.
But I could completely be wrong, like all our picks. So
Yeah, I'll go Josh as well. Yeah,
Yeah,
'cause-
I'm going with Josh. This is
Yeah.
really kind of a special match, and it would look horrible for him to lose this, and then Hammerstone is gone, right?
yeah,
This is really by appearance.
exactly.
So, for everything Josh has built up, even time is off, he's trying to build back up. You kind of want to see him up there. So I got to go with
Yeah.
Alexander here.
But
So,
I do think either way, Hammerstone's going to come out looking pretty good for himself. I think he'll get a few times where he's like, "Oh, is he going to get him? Is he going to get him?"
Yeah.
Dirty Dango versus PCO.
Okay.
Is this a regular match?
Yeah, which is why I'm
Okay.
taking Dirty Dango.
I
'Cause
know,
if it's some
that's
crazy hardcore shit, I'm taking PCO. But this is just
Okay.
straight up, yeah. So,
Okay,
go ahead,
then
Tom.
I'm going PCO, and here's why. I am done picking against this man. I'm done. I don't care
That's
anymore.
fair.
Okay, look, I don't care if it's a the loser has to die match, and it's PCO against insert random person here. I'm picking PCO because first of all, if the loser has to die and it's PCO, what does that even matter at this point? Because the man I've been convinced has died at least 8 times. So
I kind of want PCO to steal the MJF gimmick and I'm going to win with the headlock takeover. And after all the crazy stuff he does, just win with the most basic offensive move.
can I
Wins
say
with
this?
a small package or some
Yeah.
shit like that. Yeah. So
Let me say this.
Mhm.
PCO has probably the ugliest moonsault in wrestling. but let me finish.
No, that's fine.
It's also probably the reason why it's the best moonsault in pro wrestling.
Whoa.
Because it's
You're setting up Fallen Angel Christopher Daniels against PCO at some point. The Battle of the Moonsaults here.
JC.
Yes.
What makes you think I don't want that?
I'm just
Because
down for glory, TNA. Book it.
then you legitimately need BME versus UME.
Yes.
Yes!
And I'm down
And
with
put that on a shirt!
Yes.
Because I want that shirt! Yeah,
Mike-
because neither of them died, Jason. You're right.
Mike, who are you gonna go with on this one?
I think I'm gonna go with PCO too.
Okay.
And maybe when the ref gets knocked out, he pulls out some, car
Okay,
battery
so-
wires.
so-
or...
let me put it this way. I don't care if I'm wrong on
Yeah.
most of these, but any PCO match, I don't care if I'm wrong because even if I pick him to win and he loses, did he though? Because this
Yeah.
man's whole career at this point is just a win, if you ask me.
Wait,
This is true.
first of all, Jason, I think you're lying that PCO was ever young.
I was
I
gonna
think
say.
he was.
never
I think
looks
it was
like
Arn Anderson, and I think he's been 40 for the past 70 years. So
for sure. 40's not old. God damn it. All right.
I'll be 36 this year. Jeez.
TNA Tag Team Championships in a fatal 4-way, or just a 4-way tag match, I should say. ABC defending against the Rascals, Speedball Mountain, and the Grizzled Young Vets.
This match is unfair. As a fan, this is unfair. Now, let me put it this way. Again, this could steal the show. My
Yeah.
point is, as a fan, I can't. This is not fair. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
I'm
I
at a
love
point right now where I'm taking Chris Bay and Ace Austin so they finally lose because they just look at this point unbeatable in the tag team division. So I've got to go with ABC.
I respect that.
Mm-hmm.
I will say because they've got the best name, and because of all the things NXT has kind of been fun with and done right, screwing up Grizzled Young Veterans in that attempted group
Yeah.
with Ava Rain and what's his name?
Joe
I don't
Gacy.
know. Joe Gacy's little group.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Schism.
I don't know what they're the
Schism.
schism. There you go. I'm going to go with Grizzled Young Vets just because they deserve it after what they've been through with that.
All right. And Tommy.
Well, I'm now biased since I met him recently, Zachary Wentz at VIP. I'll go the Rascals with no confidence in that pick whatsoever.
Which probably means Speedball Mountain will be winning.
Yeah, I'm kind of convinced now that everyone we picked will not win.
In the
multi matches. Yeah, you're in the multi matches. That's what I meant to say. So
Chase's like, screw it. Grizzly Young Vets. Why not? So,
yeah.
yeah, and because what he said before that is right. This match is not right. It's not right.
Yeah.
Athletically, it'll be amazing. Wrestling wise, probably it's going to go down as one of the best matches of the year. Fan picking wise, this is BS. Damn you, Scott D'Amore, and your amazing booking decisions.
We've talked about this for years on this show, but I legitimately think at some point TNA win. Look, we're never going to be able to get over on WWE. But where can we get the most fan interaction? Well, people like to pick the winners. All right, we got something for that.
Mm-hmm.
Multi-man out the wazoo.
And
Yeah.
look, and thus the Ultimate X was born.
Yeah, seriously.
Damn you, Jeff Jarrett! No, I'm kidding.
Next
Wow,
year at
there's
Hard to
one-
Kill, 12-man Ultimate X.
Oh, Jesus.
Motherfucker. All right.
Ultimate X Rumble. Wait, what?
Yeah.
It's like,
And it's kind of a fun segue into a match that features more than two people. X Division title match. Chris Sabin defending against Hijo del Vikingo, who we just
Jesus
saw in
Christ.
AEW,
who
by the way,
booked this show?
against Kushida.
Okay, you remember
Yeah.
when you were little and you were like, I like WWE or WWF at the time in WCW. I'm going to make a super card and have all these fun matches that will never happen. Apparently, Scott D'Amore said, "Hey, I could do some of that in my own team, in my own company now."
Apparently,
Yep.
Scott D'Amore said, met a kid who said that and said, "Challenge accepted." So-
Right?
Mhm.
Jesus, Sabin versus
Jason's comment.
Oh, come on.
He's
Yeah.
not wrong.
Mhm.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't know if Vikingo is fully signed because, like I say, he was just in AEW a little while ago making an appearance. I'm sure
No,
he's just
he's still
making an appearance
AAA.
here and there. Yeah,
No,
he's still AAA, right?
Which
So
is why he gets to do all this.
this ultimately comes down to Sabin or Kushida, and I'm sticking with Sabin because every time I think he's going to lose, he wins. And I don't know if they're going to build to an option C thing, if Alex Shelley retains in this night or something. I don't know, but I'm going to stick with Sabin. Mike, what about you?
Yeah, I think the same thing. I think they're going to let Vikingo do his thing for a while. Kushida's going to do his thing. And not that like Chris Sabin's going to sneak in there, but he's going to hit his moves toward the end and pull out that dub.
All right. What about you, Tommy? Jason
Yeah.
says, Hail Sabin.
Yeah, actually, hell Sabin.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with that because
Still mad we didn't see him at that game on Super Bowl Sunday in
I know.
2007.
Sorry. This is one of the best comments of the night. I'm just going to throw this
it
out
really
there.
is.
Oh,
It really
come
is.
on.
Yeah. Oh, come on. I remember getting it was one of the Ring of Honor shows when he was still there. It was after the show when we were all leaving, and he was just walking around, and I got to run and snag a picture with him real quick. It's one of my favorite memories. I got to talk to him for a quick second. So
Nice.
really, really cool guy. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. On to the Knockouts World Championship. This Trina TNA, she's calling herself.
Yeah.
What's up?
I just want to say, while they're not multi-people matches, these last two matches are also very unfair for fans to have to pick.
Yes.
I don't care. It's still one-on-one, but who booked this? I hate and love them. Scott D'Amore.
And cashing in her Call Your Shot Championship match, Jordan Grace challenging Trinity TNA, she's calling herself, for the Knockouts World Championship. Mike, go for it.
Well, for what it's worth, there have been rumors swirling around that Trinity's contract is basically done after this, and a lot of people are thinking that with Triple H back, she may be going back to WWE. I don't know how soon or if not, or because they were speculating she may be in the Rumble. But I think I'm going to go with Jordan Grace. So yeah.
Okay, Tommy.
I'm sticking with Trinity until I know for a fact she's leaving. I'm going to stick with Trinity. And of course, then again, that's probably shouldn't say that because Jordan Grace has been to BLW. She knows what I look like.
Yeah, Jordan should have chopped you. Yeah, she should have chopped you instead.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you said that like I would somehow take that as a bad thing.
Oh my God! Wait, what?
I would say it after I got
I
chopped.
know you
Yeah.
would.
Chop! Oh my God! And just sink to the floor.
I'm going with Trinity as well. And, I know the rumors about the Royal Rumble, her making an appearance. It's not far-fetched for her to be under contract and still make an appearance in WWE. I mean, they've done it before, right? With Mickey
Yeah,
James.
but I feel like that was you're not wrong.
Mhm.
I feel like that was a slightly different situation, but maybe.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. So, and finally, the TNA World Championship. Alex Shelley defending against Moose. And this is Moose's Feast or Fired world title match option here. Or challenge, if you will. So, this is a wild one. I'm going to just come right out and say it. I think Moose finally gets his championship. And what a way it would be to kick off the the TNA era. I mean, for a while he ran around with that belt as it was, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and say that Moose is gonna be our new hashtag and new champion on this one. Tommy, what about you?
I still haven't forgiven him for what he did to Josh Alexander, so I'm sticking with Alex Shelley because Moose is also pure evil, which is why I feel like him and Jasmine Gore should go ahead and just form their own Legion of Doom and let's just get this over with. So,
we didn't talk about it. I know we'll talk about this in a couple of weeks, Tommy, but Jasmine needs a partner. We know who we want, but in case it's not.
If Moose walks through that curtain, I'm gonna be like, okay, first of all, I'm gonna be like, okay, first of all, when did this happen?
Yeah.
I don't even know. I don't matter how.
No, first you're gonna be like, oh, welcome, dude. Second of all, what the?
Yeah.
All right, and Mike, what do you got?
I'm gonna go with Shelley too because I really do kind of like that idea of the Selly Shaben cashing in. I mean, especially because if you're going back to TNA, those guys are TNA. So
yeah. And right there, Jason's also taking Alex Shelley on this one. So, yep. Gotta say though, I am pretty excited for this one.
This is a nice card, man.
It really is.
So good.
You guys hate it's unfair, but hey, you're kicking off your first pay-per-view of a rebrand, so you kind of have to, so. But TNA Hard to Kill takes place Saturday, January 13th at 7 p.m. Central Time. Pre-show starting at 6. Going to be at the Palms Casino Resort in Las Vegas, Nevada. And it's available for $40 on Fight TV or TNA Plus. You can go through the TNA Plus website to purchase it, or Fight TV, or if you have the World Champion subscription to TNA Plus.
That's a good question, Jason.
Okay, what's this question?
I'm sorry. They have been saying, remember, that there was going to be a big signing reveal.
Yes.
That's true.
They have promoted this for weeks. You never know who's going to show up. That's all they've said.
Yeah.
We know for sure that Okada is going to be there the next day when they do some tapings.
Right.
And if I'm not mistaken, he's already scheduled to be doing some shows with New Japan that day. Correct? If I'm wrong,
think
Tommy?
Battle of
Los Angeles.
Yeah, he's going to be
Battle in the Valley.
Yeah,
Battle in the Valley. Sorry.
He's basically going to be like one state over while this is going on.
Right.
So
yeah.
Unless that show's early enough and he makes his way over.
And again, I think a lot of people are leaning towards someone from that WWE release class that just, kind of got freed up in December. I mean, Ziggler, now Nick Nemeth is his real name, showed up in New Japan.
That was such a great moment. By the way,
Well,
that. Yeah, it was
let's just throw it out there. Who do you guys think it's going to be?
I hope it's Mustafa Ali. What'd you say, Mike?
CM Punk.
Oh my God.
I'm just kidding.
I mean, well, to be fair, like I don't know when I don't control guess.
Look at Jason.
Oh, okay, that's a good guess.
I mean, we can look, but we can't touch. So
true. You know what I laughed at when Drew McIntyre cut his promo on Punk, and they said we have a pool backstage telling to you self-destruct, and I literally thought to myself, I wonder if that's actually true.
So, it's funny, not to totally get offhand, but real quick, because like people, especially Punk defenders, are like, "Oh man, everybody in AEW was like going after Punk and saying all this crap." Literally, Rollins and now McIntyre doing the exact same thing, and there's not a lot of lies in the stuff they said.
No,
that's the funny part.
It's just like when Punk. Adam Cole was talking about MJF. He's like, and I posted that meme. Why are you booing me? I'm right.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, and I just saw Jason's comment. Yes, because MK Ultra are also all amazing and cool and hot.
Have they said this is someone that they've signed, or just somebody that's just going to make be a surprise
appearance? I thought they said a signing.
I thought they said signing
because they said this back in December, but I thought it made it sound like they were having a big a signing.
Yeah, I thought it was a signing.
Yeah, because all the promos have just said you never know who will show up. You never know who will show up. You never know who will show up.
That's true.
Well, to be fair, TNA has been known for making those surprises of signings. I mean, I think about Team 3D, Rhino, Christian Cage. I think, and yeah.
And even though he kind of already showed up in New Japan, with the way they do deals and stuff happens, it could be Nick Nemeth himself too.
It could be. I mean,
I do like Ali too. Who were some of the other people from that group that was let go? That's starting to come. Oh, Mansoor.
Hey, you know what? Let's be real. It's top dollar. Let's stop guessing. We all know
Yes,
he is. Yeah,
it is.
I think he said one time. He said that botch dive has gotten me more work than anything. Like he said something.
Well,
Like
no,
that.
did you actually hear the story behind that? That it kind of saved his life. So,
Oh yeah, something like
so
that.
he said that like he's done that dive time and time again, and the night he botched it, like his legs just felt off. He went to the doctor. His sugar was like at 600, and
Jeez.
he found out that he had like type 2 diabetes, and so he's like, I got it under control now. But he's like, I don't know, if I don't know how much longer I would have gone without getting that check, that it could have really screwed me up. So,
Hey,
kind of silver lining, if you will, to that mess up, but like, hey, saved his life in a
look,
sense. You
if a botch like that saves my life, I'm in. I mean, I botched before.
right?
You know.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, signed. Okay. If it wasn't somebody that signed, I would have said they got a one-time use for AJ Styles with TNA being back, and that would be amazing.
That'd be
Just
cool.
for making an appearance.
That'd be cool.
He could still do it at like maybe Slammiversary or something.
But they
Yeah.
they made it sound like it was, at least I'm trying to think back to December, because I haven't been watching as much lately. I know you said like you never know who show up, but they made it sound it was like it may be their biggest signing
Yeah.
in TNA history.
Yeah. Jason, I love her, so I'm all for that.
Not a big bad one. So
Yeah. I think she got a lot. I think she got a bad rep. I love Dana Brooke.
Yeah, she kind of did. I don't know. Like, do you have a guess, JC?
Oh,
It's like picking a multi-man.
Yeah,
match.
no, seriously, it kind of
it
is.
really is. Not. I don't have names in front of me either. That's the hard part. I
Yeah.
can't roll a die and say it. But that's what's throwing me off. Is it's somebody that they've signed. I mean, obviously Nick Nemeth is the one that really jumps out to me.
I mean, he's the biggest name of those that were released.
Yeah,
So I feel like he'd make the biggest impact, no pun intended.
that one would make the most sense. I mean, we don't know what the relationship is with New Japan and
Right.
TNA with the Okada thing, but we know that he showed up at New Japan. Nemeth did.
Yeah.
This one would be great. This would be a great option for him too. So I'm
Yeah,
gonna
to like
I'm-
wrestle here most of the time and then go have some big matches in New Japan. Like, that would be
Yeah,
pretty
exactly.
good.
So I'm gonna go
Right.
ahead and say Nick Nemeth. I think he's gonna be
Okay.
a surprise. I'm interested to see if Shelly wins, maybe he shows up afterward and kind of like puts his name in the hat, wanting to challenge Alex Shelley. Maybe he wants to go after Chris Sabin if Sabin retains the X Division title. So
Maybe Alex Shelley has a Samoa Joe problem, and like 5 people all at once crowd around him and declare that they'll be the next. Yeah.
we'll see. So that
Wait.
is my guess there. So yeah.
Was it Zilla Fatu that left Reality of Wrestling?
Yes.
Has he been signed anywhere?
No.
I know he may not be as big to like the general WWE casual fan, but that'd be kind of big probably for them.
It would be,
I don't know
but
about the biggest, yeah.
the way
but-
they're hyping this, I feel like it's got to be some like high profile free agent or maybe somebody that's returning to TNA. That's just what I think. So
yeah, that makes more sense. Man.
Yeah.
The reason I said the Garcia twins is there's no women's tag title match, and they're a friend. Oh yeah.
That's actually a good point. Yeah.
maybe they present the titles, they challenge for it. So
Yeah.
And they did get kind of they've kind of broken their ties with WWE, kind of upset with the way they were being used.
Oh, Mike.
Yeah.
What if it's the inspiration?
No, because
I know.
Peyton Royce is Prego.
Again?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know she was pregnant again. Oh, okay.
She just announced that on her Instagram. I want to say a week or two
okay.
ago.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, I didn't know she
So
was
Okay, I missed that, but but
yeah.
also Jessie McKay just had hers, and I doubt she was ready. I would love it. Don't get me wrong, you know that.
Yeah.
I still go back and watch. Did you go to journalism? You go to be joking? Like I go back and watch those clips every so often, but I don't think either of them are in a place right now.
If rewatching Iconic Inspiration, whichever name you want to go with by them clips, doesn't put a smile on your face, I just don't know what will. I really do.
Yeah.
I'm dead serious when I say that. If that doesn't make
You are
you
not
laugh
human. Go
and
get a
smile,
soul.
if that doesn't make you, if their silliness doesn't make you laugh and smile, I'm legitimately sorry that your day was that bad.
Yeah,
Like seriously, because they're hilarious no matter what they're doing.
they really are.
All right. Well, it's time to move into our 1 minute warning segment here. Mike, do you have something this week?
I do, but actually, before my 1 minute warning, when we
Sure.
were talking about the women's title, it made me think of a small news bit that we didn't mention earlier at the beginning of the show.
Okay.
Mickie James has been signed to OVW as the head of the women's division
She
and
was.
Interesting.
like part of creative now or something. And that's
OVW making a comeback, bro.
Yeah, and that's where like Tiffany Nieves is
Yep.
also champion and doing a bunch of her stuff. That's Al Snow running all that. So kudos to them for getting her. That's going to be huge for all those women down there, and just
I'm just
having
saying,
Mickey James.
Tiffany Nieves is in your promotion. Suddenly, Mickey James wants to be there.
Yeah.
Coincidence? I think not.
You know that, and if that opens a communication between Thunder and Mickey and Brian, and because apparently, if I remember correctly, there's some other people. There's other people that work with Mission Pro that are good friends with her. So hey, just saying.
Yeah, don't you tease me with a good time? No kidding.
All right, Mike, you got something for us this week?
Do I have something this week? I don't think I do.
All right, Tommy, what about you?
I got something.
All right, are you ready? Go.
Sting's final match apparently will be with the Young Bucks. And immediately, the entire internet wanted to set themselves on fire. In which case, I say to all of you, knock yourself out. I don't condone suicide, but if you're just that upset about a man wanting a match, because, by the way, to all those who thought Tony Khan is forcing Sting to do this because Tony Khan is the devil now, apparently Sting, according to Five Select, has significantly influenced his retirement match and has preferred to continue competing in tag team matches rather than singles matches. The match has been in the works for several weeks. Sting has fully supported the plan to wrestle the Young Bucks. Tony Khan considers it crucial to give Sting a memorable send-off. Because, it's just Sting. He's only given us his body for about, 40 years of his life. And if he feels like he wants to go out in a tag team match with one of the guys who he said resurrected his career, Darby Allin, against one of the best techs on the planet, you don't have to like them. That's just a fact. In the Young Bucks, then hey, what's the big deal? Oh, that's right. Fans booking this how they want to because apparently Tony Khan is the devil, the Young Bucks are his henchmen, and there it's just all pure evil, and Sting deserves better. Except for what Sting, actually wants.
So what you're telling me, Tommy, is that Sting is being selfish, and even though I, as a wrestling fan, want his last match to be in specifically the way I see fit, that he has decided that he should make a decision for his final match of his career and hang out with those overrated Young Bucks or face them in a match, and I'm supposed to be happy with that?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking out.
But but to your point, Mike,
You're talking about wrestling or Star Wars at this point?
Yes.
Gosh,
yes. What's the difference?
Okay. Yeah.
Hold on, Jason. Let me correct you. Wrestling, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, MCU, insert a video game franchise here.
Nobody wants Flair versus in them. No.
No. He's right. No, he's right. You guys haven't seen it.
I know what you're talking about.
He's right. There are people out there who are begging for that. They're wrong, but they're begging for that.
Come on, guys.
I'm just going to be straight up. I don't want Flair in AEW right now, to be honest. And apparently he wants to get more physical and involved in stuff. And I just, can I take my 1 minute warning back to go off on I'm done with people coming back constantly? That goes to The Rock too.
Yes.
Oh, I'll do that close to the Rumble. I don't need The Rock in matches.
Did you see? Did you send it to me, Mike, or did someone send it in the group chat about like the punk realization when you left?
Oh yeah. So my brother-in-law said that to me.
Okay.
It was because we're always making the joke about Rock coming and screwing Cody up from finishing his story, but then I never thought about this part, and it was like when you leave the company in 2014. Because The Rock took your WrestleMania main event, and then you come back 10 years later, and The Rock may potentially be taking your WrestleMania main event. And I was like, it's kind of funny.
Yeah. So
hopefully that grass is greener thing works out for him. Anyway, sorry. I'm still salty when it comes to Punk. I'm getting better about it, but I'm still salty.
I am too, but I do love, like I said earlier, that the WWE guys are getting to say stuff, and there's no lies.
No.
And he doesn't really have
I think they're trying to make Seth and Drew the heels in this scenario, and I'm like, but they're not wrong. They can't be heels if they're telling the truth.
Again, I go back to that, not his first or second week. I think it was like the third show back when him and Rollins finally squared off in the ring, like on the mic. And Rollins was talking about all the things he said. Punk did not say, "No, you are wrong for what you said." He said, You only get to talk to me once like that, and then I'm going to do something about it. He never said anything that Rollins said was incorrect or a lie or wrong. He just said, hey, don't talk mean to me. I'm a man.
One thing Punk did do that I will say, he said, for the fans that disappointed, I legitimately apologize. He did say that one time, and that's helping me.
Unaccepted.
Unaccepted.
Well, I'm going to spend some time talking about somebody who just doesn't disappoint, doesn't fail to disappoint. And though, while he's not officially right now the king of pro wrestling, every time this New Japan Rambo comes out to start up Wrestle Kingdom, this man is always in the Final Four. Of course, I'm talking about Toriano. But, Tommy, just hear me out here.
All
right? He's always around there. He's in the Final Four. What was it? Taichi was the king of pro wrestling last year officially, right?
Yeah, he was the king last year.
Yeah, he was the king last year.
Yeah,
I didn't say Taichi in the Final Four this year. So, look, he may not be the king now. Maybe he may not be at some point this year. I hope he is, and hope he gets back to glory and wins it. He better be at Forbidden Door. Toriano is wrestling royalty. I don't give a fuck what you say. He's always in the Final Four, whether it's Prince, Duke, Knight, something. He's there. He's royalty. King of Pro Wrestling, fuck it. Make him the Emperor. Let's go. Toriano, Emperor of Pro Wrestling 2024.
Wrestling has more than one royal family.
Damn right.
Toriano.
Toriano, finish the story. That's right.
He'll finish it before Cody. Hell,
Yes.
Wait! I just thought of this! If Cody doesn't win at Mania, or doesn't win the Rumble, but Toriano gets the King of Pro Wrestling belt in December
dude, I was going to say Izzy's going to finish her story at this point before Cody does.
Oh my god! I just saw this image in my head of Cody losing again at Mania, but Toriano winning the belt at like Power Struggle or something.
Hey, every prince needs a princess. Every emperor needs an empress.
Whoa.
Just saying.
Whoa.
Come on.
Yeah, but no, Bailey don't need to be going to Toriano. No.
Oh my god.
She's her own royalty. There's no reason why.
No, she is.
Yeah. So.
They're royalty of their own separate kingdoms. They don't need to be together in one.
Oh man. Oh, dude.
You all right?
If Cody doesn't win this year and Toriano gets the effing KOPW title by the end of 2024, Cody may have to retire, bro. Cody might have to retire, bro.
Tommy, did you make the joke, or I think I saw it somewhere where it was like AEW 2005, and it's Cody on the mic like, I'm back home. Like doing like the Punk.
No, I didn't make that joke, but someone did, and I love the F out of it because, dude, this year is going to be telling, isn't it?
Cody going back to AEW.
This is going to be a telling year. I know it. It's going to be.
Look, here's what I'm going to say. If Roman is, still is champion after WrestleMania, that means there's only one name that can dethrone him. And this is part of a trio that is becoming legendary. We had Drew McIntyre, left, came back champion. You had Jinder Mahal, left, came back champion. There's only one other member of the three-man band who can come and save us. Heath Slater. If Roman Reigns is still champion of WrestleMania, it's going to be up to Heath Slater to take
all
down the
his
head of the
kids
table.
come into the ring at
Yes.
that match? Yes.
Heath Slater accompanied by the Slater kids.
Okay.
Yeah. Drive him.
Okay.
Drive him to the. Get driven to the ring in your double wide for crying out fucking loud. Why the hell not?
Okay. I
Come
can't.
on.
I can't even front. Like I don't. I can't even pretend like I don't want that.
Yeah,
I can't pretend like I don't want, because again, that would mean he finished the story before Cody. If Heath Slater finishes the story. Okay, I'm sorry.
My other thing is, Jason, you say that. I think Philip Rivers, a former NFL quarterback, has more kids than that. So that's probably why he stayed quarterback for so long. So
does Cody kind of feel like the DCEU with The Rock now?
Oh,
like,
my God.
The Rock showed up and screwed it up even more.
My God. You somehow worked that joke in. Oh, my God.
Look, again, okay, not crapping on the DCU part of it, but remember when The Rock came and was like, the power structure of the DCU is about to change. And he was like, hey, I'm going to be this character that I loved as a kid. Lie. And I'm not going to face that guy's natural enemy in a movie because that's not big enough. Give me Superman. Oh, you left Superman? I want you back. Oh, wait, you're not actually coming back. But I made you come back for a little cameo in my crap movie. I am done with The Rock. No, dude. Tommy tried to send me a picture of Salma Hayek liking some girl from Rebel Moon. I'm still not going to watch it, Ted. Don't even try it. It's not happening. Unless Salma Hayek was in Rebel Moon, then we'll.
No, she wasn't. She's
Right.
a Sophia
Okay, then we're
Mattel's friend of
good.
hers. So, but
But no, like I was gonna save this 1 minute warning, but like I'm done with The Rock, and I know everyone loves him, but that man is as disingenuous and is like made by his corporate goons who like make everything he says. And he came out last week for the third time in like 5 years, trying In-N-Out Burger for the first time. People are like, "You've said this twice before." Like, I'm sorry, everyone thinks he's this genuine dude. I think he's like on Hulk Hogan on me now. So, yeah,
it's getting to that point. It's getting to that point. Yeah. So, good to make appearances here and there, but yeah, I don't agree that he should be involved with this whole head of the table storyline. It takes away from everybody who has been around. But it better not be a WrestleMania spot he takes. You want to give him a shot at Chamber, by all means. But if he sits there and takes a spot for WrestleMania when you should be building up for somebody to try and dethrone him.
The irony of Punk saying all this 9 years ago and coming back just in time to have it done to him again. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
And for all the tribalism and stuff debate, while a lot of people who are casual fans love this is the part of WWE as a hardcore wrestling fan that annoys me.
Yeah.
Right? Because we've invested in these wrestlers and these people for like the full year. And again, even though it was kind of sketchy with Cody at first when he came over, like he's been putting it in.
He's been putting in the work.
To screw it up so The Rock could come back again to do his same old stick from 11 years ago, from 20 years ago. Come on, man.
You want to know what's funny?
This just tells you Vince McMahon still has just a little bit of influence.
It seems like it.
Yeah. You want to know what's funny? Remember when Sting showed up in AEW and everyone thought immediately he was going to start taking everyone's spot, and instead just went out there and just had a great last ride of his career, and literally no one suffered for it?
Actually, even go back a little bit more. Remember that first match? I think the first one was like that cinematic brawl with Team Taz, and we were like, you were like, oh man, look, they have to film this like a movie because Sting is getting old. And then we came back, and he was like, no,
or COVID or something like that. Yeah,
it was COVID.
Like, yeah. He was like, no. Let me show you. I can actually jump off things. And then he just started this crazy like, wasn't every show. Wasn't taking up main events most of the time. It was him and Darby in crazy street fights against other groups
and having fun.
Yeah,
and you can't tell me the guys they were wrestling weren't jonesing that they were wrestling Sting. So
yeah, Pepperidge Farm.
Yeah.
You know, okay, Ted, you'll appreciate this because when I first heard this line, I thought it was like a dumb movie line trying to sound deep. But the Dark Knight quote of "You either die the hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain," is what Hogan did, what Cena did, what Rock did, what Cena did, and it's what Roman's becoming.
And
they all got mad at the star before them that took off time, and then they become that person.
Guess what? I'll take it a step further. That's what Punk did.
Yeah,
that's what Punk did. I still consider myself a CM Punk fan. That's why I'm so upset with him. Because of how all this stuff has gone down, especially apparently if what old dude said was factual, and Tony Khan literally yelled at him just shut up and wrestle. I feel like all these guys, for all their preaching and postulating, have just proven themselves to be, I won't say hypocrites, but along those lines. Because I'll say this: time does affect things. You know time experience does affect things. So I won't go as far as to call them hypocrites yet. But I will say they're towing that line, and they've definitely become the villains of where they were once the hero. So, and it's sad to say that the joke McIntyre made about Punk, we're seeing how long until you self-implode. I kind of think that wasn't a joke, and they have an actual tally going that no one's talking about. So,
I think the only thing that's helping Punk in this case is that WWE does seem to have a more regulated locker room, and they do not let shit escape the way AEW tends to with stuff that gets out and leaks out, like backstage stuff. So I think that might be the only thing that helps Punk in this situation.
I honestly, I'll put it this way: you're more optimistic than me. I just feel like Punk just pushed it too far, and then
No, I agree. Like I'm not
but
apologizing for his stuff in AEW, but
yeah, my thing is like I don't think it has anything to do with locker room hierarchy and all this stuff that people try to say. Oh, it's solely an AEW. I just feel like Punk's a big name that got out.
No. What I mean is WWE, like we've talked about, is a machine that has been run for 40 plus years.
Okay. Yeah, I get what
it's not just like the people in the locker room. They're a corporate structure, a lot more than AEW. That's what I mean.
Okay.
So there is stuff that probably goes on in WWE that doesn't come out because they have like protocols in place, and there's a much more corporate set to it. Just imagine.
And Seth Lee. Because everyone jokes because his contract.
That would be the next person in the cycle. In all fairness, but
yeah, because like his contract is up this year, right? Him and Becky's, right?
It might be.
Yeah, but I'm sure that's gonna.
Yeah, I told everyone. Everyone's like, "Oh, they're going to 8." I was like, "No, they're not." I just don't see that happening.
You know what? I'll bring it back to Bayley because it's what I always do. She re-signed this, I think, at the end of last year, another big contract, and there were reports that coming out from Fightful. She did an interview where like she wanted to make sure she did all her stuff before the end of her career, and I guess she's already looking at it kind of like coming to an end in a couple years or a handful of years.
Yeah,
which is crazy, but
it is.
God, she needs to get her face turned this year, and I think they're doing it. I think they're slow burning it till Rumble, and then it might kick off to Mania. But
look, she needs to win. I don't care how obvious it is. She needs to win the Rumble and main event Mania. I don't care.
Yes, I agree with that.
Let it be obvious as all hell. I don't care. I do not care if it's. Some things are obvious because they are right. Team 4-star. They said that in a video once, and I couldn't agree more. But some things are obvious because they are right. Bayley should win the Rumble, if not this year, the next year, and main event Mania. Is it obvious because it's just she's been putting in the work and it's just her turn? Yeah, it is. By the way, don't care.
And this happened tonight. So her and Aaron, Bianca Belair for like the 300th time again.
Yeah.
Why has she become the Shawn Michaels to Belair's Undertaker? It's hit that. Remember, like after they hit that point where he would never be able to beat the Undertaker. Not just the last 2 WrestleMania matches, the Rumble stuff. Why is Bayley like she loses to Belair every time? It's been like a 14-match losing streak. I don't know.
Because when she finally gets over, it's going to mean that much more.
I hope so,
and it will. So
maybe because Bianca will take the belt, then they'll main event Mania against each other. That's what Bayley.
I'll take it.
I'll take it because also because Bianca Belair main eventing anything is never a bad idea.
Yeah.
So.
Well, thank you everybody for joining us once again.
We went a lot longer than I thought we would.
Yeah, TNA Hard to Kill, Saturday, January 13th, 7 p.m. Central Time, for $40 on Fight TV or part of your TNA Plus World Champion level subscription. Taking place at the Palms Casino Resort in Las Vegas, Nevada. So,
sweet.
Check it out. Enjoy it. The first pay-per-view of the TNA rebrand. It's pretty awesome to see that logo back and those colors and everything else as well. So.
Crazy.
Next week we'll recap. Oh wait. On the side note, Hikaru Shida and Queen Aminata on Rampage tonight. Watch it. Okay.
Nice. Oh yeah. So apparently Queen Aminata is maybe not signed to the full AEW contract, but one of those tiered ones. Okay. But she is apparently under one of their contracts.
She's been in ROH a lot lately.
Yeah. So that's good for her.
Next week we'll recap Hard to Kill. We'll preview the hybrid show coming up on that Friday, and then of course we are going to preview RCW Rumble Royale.
2 stacked Battle Royal Rumble Royales, whatever they're called, for the men and women.
Pretty sure the women's one is going to be huge with obviously with the main event, Maddie Rakowski being signed to NXT. Probably most likely they're going to be announcing that she's relinquished the title for RCW.
Yeah, and I was going to say, like, it hasn't been said in any of their promotion or stuff like that, but we know what's going on. So
yeah. So all right. Thank you everyone for joining us. Appreciate you joining us on a Friday night, late night here.
Bernsey, Ted.
Appreciate you guys. Over here we got Tommy.
Thanks, guys.
We got Mike.
Thanks, guys. Be good to each other.
And I'm JC, and as always, heels and baby faces, remember, pro wrestling is real.
People are fake.
Reach for the sky, boy.
Boom.
See you next week.
Adios, Cooper.